Greetings and salutations, everybody. Thank you for joining us here at Coffin Comics Con Online 2021. It's a mouthful to say, and it's not easy for me to say because my mouth is jumbled. Anyways, I have the pleasure of interviewing Joel Gomez, who is the artist of La Muerta. And without further ado, Joel Gomez!
Hey, what's up, guys?
There's Brandy in the background yelling at me. Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, everybody? Happy, doing well. How are you guys doing today?
Good, thank you. We got Joel Gomez we're doing an interview with.
Yeah. Can you believe it? I got Julian Hooligan interviewing. How about that?
While I have you here, oh my God.
Is that Brandy Reese?
Yeah.
Hi. Superstar Brandy Reese.
Superstar Joel Gomez. I love you.
Bye. That was Brandy's little cameo. I'm sure she'll make another one. I wanted to thank you personally for this awesome cover you did for me that I found on my desk the day before my birthday. This was really cool, and I emailed you to thank you, but I wanted to thank you personally.
Of course. You know what it is, man? It's the least I can do. I always have a habit because you guys have to ship all of our crap when we send it back to you, especially me with all the sketch covers and things that I get to do for our Kickstarters. And I always feel bad because I'm like, crap, I'm just adding to the pile. So I try to make a habit of like doing, sketch covers for you guys or whatever. And it's just kind of neat. It's fun because it's a personalized thing, and it's like it doesn't cost me anything but time, and then I get to make a nice little impact with my coworker friends. And it's like my Coffin family.
Yeah, I put it right there on my shelf with all my stuff, so it's right there with all my swag.
That's awesome, dude. Well, thanks, man. It's an honor.
Thank you. It was a really pleasant surprise. I think I squealed and ran around the office for a little while.
The other thing that ends up happening is that somehow Coffin affiliates end up in my books. So in most cases, it's usually a name. You see your name in the background. This particular chapter of La Muerta Onslaught, holy crap, I have so many people's names, so many fans that I've met on the message boards and on Sworn Nation, like just a lot of cool people. So I kind of inject their names, kind of scribbled on a wall, like some graffiti style or something. So I know I got you guys in there too. So there's quite a few. What's funny is that recently I did a book that didn't quite work out with Brian. We were working on a horror thing, and we just couldn't find the right tone for it with my art and the way it was written. But in that particular book, Jimmy Calabrese, that is, I'm sorry, and Nick both made an appearance. Like I've found these two great pictures of them, and I never told them because I was like, oh, this is gonna be badass. They're gonna be in the book. They're gonna see it. They're gonna know it's them. And then we canned that, like the 10 pages I did or whatever. And so my goal is to still bring the page that has Nick and Jimmy in it and just gift it to them at Sworn Fest this coming year in February. So
you're gonna be there, right?
I don't know. I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping I'm invited. I haven't heard anything from Brian or anything. You never know.
Oh, Jiminy Cricket, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
We'll see. You never know. Maybe I'll be one of the lucky ones who gets invited. It'll be a great honor. I know.
Hey, you should be there, man. It'll be fun to have you.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Brian. We'll talk to Brian for you.
Let's see. You guys might be able to do me a favor or two, right?
Just talking.
Yeah, so, right.
You were talking about the fans. Have you ever witnessed fandom like this? Ever? I can't say I recall our fans or any group of fans like ours. And
it's awesome. You know what? I've worked in comics for quite a while. I worked at Top Cow. I worked at Aspen Comics. I worked at Wildstorm, and it was always fun. It was always neat to be a part of some of the big things they were doing or whatever. And I've been at Coffin Comics for just over 6 years, I want to say. And it's every year, it just keeps like expanding and growing. And like, I was never on Facebook for whatever reason. But in the last year or so, I've been on there more frequently and more specifically just for the Coffin Comics and our fans. And coolest people out there, man. I've met so many really cool folks. One of my good buddies, Jason Hart, who's probably going to watch this delayed because he's busy at work. He's one of the guys I've met. So many great people, and Jay Taylor. Oh gosh, so
Love
many.
that guy. Love Jay.
Yeah,
Taylor.
and so I get to interact with all these awesome people online, D-Dog, and on Facebook or whatever, and they're just really cool fans, and it makes what we do so much more fun. It's like when I'm sitting there at the table and I've been there for 10 plus hours, and I'm like, and I just remind myself, like, these people, they're gonna love it. These guys are gonna love it. You gotta do some kick-ass stuff, and so it's just fun, man. It really makes me swing for the fences on everything we're working on together, because there's just something about it. It feels like incrementally keeps growing, and people are so nice, and you really want to go all out, and you want to bring your best A game to the table, because it's just fun, and to have them react in a way or respond to the story that you're helping the guys work on. And it's just an awesome experience. And I haven't seen or felt so connected, and maybe it's because there's no middleman. Like, I love DC Comics, I love the fans there, and everything was great, but there was always some sort of divide between that. Whereas with Coffin Comics and the fan base, the Sworn Nation, or just all the fans of our comics in general, there's just such a direct line to them, and you interact with everybody, and everyone's super cool, and it's just like, anytime I jump on Facebook, there's always somebody there just saying, hi, what's up, dude? And it's like, it's fun, man. It's a community, and I enjoy the community that we're in. And I love telling the stories that I get to tell with Mike and Brian. And it feels like a progression from, being a young person reading Marvel and DC Comics. And I love those characters, but yeah, as I'm older, it's like, well, what else is there? It's like, how many times can you watch, Batman's origin and his parents getting killed in Crime Alley? And I love it, but I want something else too, and so Coffin kind of fills that need for me. And I feel like the fan base is in that same wheelhouse with me with that, where they love the medium and they just want new stories about characters that are different to them. And so it's a blast, and it's an honor to, do these stories with Brian and Mike, like I said, for this awesome rabid fan base. It's like, yeah.
I really liked what you said when you said that we pulled the curtain down. That was the first impression I got when I was just pulling books in the warehouse. I was like, man, we really are close to the fans, and vice versa.
Yeah.
It's like, I've never seen that in any publishing house, and I've been working in comics for 26 years, and even when Brian was doing Chaos, I saw that. I'm like, wow, this is a very different type of feel. That I think Brian brings. He wants the people to know, hey, I'm not some guy on a mountain or locked up far away. I am going to interact with you. I am going to make you feel welcome. And I think because of who he is, he's helped create this community that I have never seen in comics.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, maybe there is stuff out there, but I'm not aware of it. And it was so accessible the way this is. And it's so easy to just get caught up in it. And you're like, man, this is awesome. And like I said, the interaction, and people are super cool. And it's just, you really, like I said, it makes me really swing for the fences, because you really want to impress these people with what we're doing. They're already into it. So it's like, yeah, man, it's a blast. And it's, you know how hard it can be to just find an audience for your stuff. And so to have people who are, excited about the things we're doing, like I said, it's all you could want, and so, yeah, I'm excited, and thanks to all those guys. Thank you guys. Appreciate your support of our books.
I agree. We love them all, and they love us, and it's a beautiful, beautiful group we got growing, and it's growing. And
dude, it's growing. It's getting bigger and bigger.
So speaking of the process, how is it for you as a creator, as an artist? How is the process to create a comic and to get the story from just the script parts to the finished product? What are all the steps you do?
Yeah, so what I thought I'd do today was kind of walk you through how I go about working from script to the final page. And it's kind of a process that I've developed through experience working with Mike McLean and Brian Pulido. And once I get an understanding of what Mike likes and doesn't like in my art, it makes it easier to focus on certain things. But generally, I'll get a script. I'll get a 46-page script, right? And what I'll do is what I've done here today is I printed out just page 1 to reflect the demo we're doing today. So I printed out the script for page 1. I have the roughs for page 1. the layouts, that is, and then what I transfer, and then I'll show you the final line art as well. So when I get a script, immediately what I'll do, I'll read it twice, maybe 3 times. The first time around, as I read it, I very quickly, I'll kind of assess how many panels there are per page. And then from that, I'll immediately look at the top of each panel in the description. And what I'll do from that is I'll really fast, really roughly just grid out what I feel will be, you know, a grid for that panel, or how that page should look. And then I'll say, okay, this particular page has, you know, we'll say 5 panels. And so I'll work out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then put a couple of examples side by side, just somewhere on the margin of the script, you know, anywhere on the sides here. And what I'll do is that I'll continue reading the script and do that for every page. The reason I'm doing that is to create more than one option for myself, to get a sense of like, well, does this layout look cooler, or does this work better? Or how big of an image, or where's my anchor image on that page? What is the biggest, you know, panel on that page that I want to present? And then I'll just, like I said, I'll read through that script really quickly the first time around. And then the second time around, I'll go ahead and pick one of the 2 or 3 examples I put in front of me, and then I'll start working that out. So what I do from that is then I'll take the gridded page that I think works best, and then I will lay it out really small, at about this size generally. Let me fold this so we can get a better sense. So I'll lay that out at about this size, and what it is that working at this size allows me to work out all the figure construction and just generally get a ballpark for perspective, because you don't want to have to work too hard. So the smaller, the better in this regard, because you're just trying to get a placement of it. It doesn't have to be exact. You just wanting to get a general feel for what that is. And so in this one, you see like panel 1 is kind of small. Panel 2, I decided to have be my anchor image. So that's the biggest one. And then I have a couple of 3 panels down here below. I really enjoy breaking panel borders. So at times, like in this page, panel 2 and panel 5 are kind of breaking the panel borders. And so once I think this works out okay, I'll even put the word balloons and sound effects or whatever, just to mentally prepare myself to not draw anything important in those areas. And so that's kind of what I'll do. Once I'm happy with this really small thumbnail, I'll then hand it over to Beth, who she helps me kind of print these things out into a larger format so that I can work from. So I'll take that roughly, 4x6 thumbnail layout and print it out onto an 11x17 artboard, or 11x17 typing paper. And then what this does is, you see on this typing paper, there are, let me make sure you can see it. There are registration marks. So this in here is the live area, and then up top corner is the bleed. And this just lets me know what's going to sit on the page and be seen properly, and what could possibly get cut off in the printing. So I just use that to set up where all the panel borders will be and so forth. And then what I'll do from this is I'll work out, correct some of the figure construction or whatever. So like in this page, I felt like this panel here, I felt like we're too up on this person's face. It's too close, too claustrophobic. So I shrunk it down a little more in the final, and turned the angle of the head a little bit more so that she looks like she's actually looking at the screen versus how she was right here. And that gives you a better sense of what I was shooting for here. In this larger panel here, you can barely see, but there's something framing this character here. Here we have Maria. She's standing looking at a bunch of monitors, different monitors here. And then here in the foreground, we'll have Loco, and he's kind of like leaning against this door frame, and he's crossing his arms, kind of looking off at her, sort of, but he's kind of in shadow. And so in the layout, I thought he could have been a little bit bigger. So, I roughed out with a Sharpie how much bigger I thought he would be. And then these are things I'll then, tighten up in pencil. And then what I'll do is I'll transfer it over to the artboard. And that's what we have here is the final page. So here you can see Loco's a little bit bigger here on this panel here, on the big section here. And then here below, you see the face I was mentioning, how it's a little bit smaller, and it actually looks like she's looking more at this monitor of this monster that the news has captured. And they're saying there's some sort of supernatural events happening downtown, which ties into the larger part of Onslaught. So at page 1 of La Muerta, it gives you a sense of the story about to unfold. You know, they're all witnessing some stuff happening, and it's coming into La Muerta's town. And so they're really figuring out, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to handle this? And these are things that I will talk through with Mike McLean, and we'll discuss the idea of, well, what's supposed to be happening in these first 6 to 8 pages, what's going to be happening after. And so he'll set up things that he wants to see. And then I'll go over it with him. Sometimes I'll send him reference, hey, what do you think of this? Do you like this? And he'll say, yeah, that's cool, or whatever. And my whole goal is to get the concept that Brian and Mike have to fruition, and just help them tell these stories, you know. And the closer I work with them, the better, or the more of their story I get down on paper. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a cool opportunity to just make the most of it, because I know them so well now, and I know what they're trying to do. So it's like being in a band, man. We're just all playing the same music. So yeah, that's kind of the process from beginning to final page art there.
What was it like for you when Coffin Comics came to you and say, hey, we have this idea for a book? And I remember the first time Brian told me about La Muerta. It hadn't been out yet. They hadn't done the Kickstarter yet. Right. And my jaw hit the floor. I was like, that is something I haven't seen in comics yet.
Yeah.
That is something that I'm like, wow, you're making references in things that I remember hearing from my Nana and Tata as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, these phrases, the Brujas and La Llorona and all this other stuff. And to see it, like, how I was like, oh my God. I mean, what was that like for you as a creator, being like, you want to do a what? What was that like for you to hear that type of news?
Well, it's funny actually, because the story, it's funnier than when Brian, I knew of Brian from several conventions. I'd seen him at San Diego Comic-Con and a couple other things, and I always just, hey, hey, what's up? And I showed him some stuff. And at one time, I gave him this sketch I had done, a big Barda, and I learned how big of a Jack Kirby fan he was. And I'm a huge Jack Kirby fan, especially just the old like New Gods and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was really into it. And so I was thinking, oh, he was really into it. And I met up with him at a small show in Phoenix, and he tells me, hey, I have this thing that I want to see if you might be, I think you'd be a perfect fit for. And so I kind of knew what books he did, but then I told him, like, oh, you know what? I said, I don't really do like sexy girls. Like, I'm just I'm not really that's not my bag. And he says, oh, I know. And I was like, what? And then it kind of threw me for a loop, because I just remember Lady Death, and I remember some of the other stuff from the old days. And I didn't know the repertoire he had, or what he was building towards in the future, which is now. And so he was, let me send you this pitch book. And I was like, okay. And so, like I said, I didn't know the guy very well. And when he sent this to me, I was like, holy crap, this thing is amazing. It was like all the stuff that you see in the book now in like this recipe. Like they had this lookbook that I don't know who put it together. It was him or Francisco or both. And it was just awesome. Everything about it. It was just like, it hit every note that I loved about the premise of the concept. And more importantly, it took me down this path that became kind of this art style I've been using to this day. I had always had a big fascination for the style of 100 Bullets, Eduardo Rizzo, Jorge Safino, just really artists who use a lot of graphic and dark shapes, and just a lot of inky lines and all that kind of thing. But I was never very confident in trying the approach. And everything about what La Muerta was going to be was that. And it just made me invest the time into doing that and learning about it and getting better at it. And it was amazing. I'm just really lucky to have had the opportunity. And I loved the concept from the beginning, but I kind of felt that I needed to fit into the shoes. I didn't feel like I was ready. Like I thought it looked amazing. And I was like, I don't think I'm that good of an artist to do this story, and I don't feel that much of that feeling as much today. I still feel it, but at times I'm feeling more like this is, I think, the way this should look. And maybe it's just experience with these guys, and maybe it's experience with a character, but I can definitely get a sense of when something feels like, yeah, this feels very La Muerta, you know. And if I'm drawing a panel, sometimes it'll happen. I'll just be like, oh, that's cool. And then I'll look at it like an hour later. I'm like, nah, that's not how things in La Muerta's books look. So no, you got to change that. You got to make it right. And again, I mean, like I said, the fans, they love that stuff. So they know what they're looking at and what they enjoy. So I too have to make sure to like, let's keep it on the same thing. Don't change the recipe. People enjoy the flavors. Let's just keep cooking up this awesome story. So.
Nice and spicy.
Yeah. A little bit of hot sauce.
I was looking over Ascension last night, and one thing I really grasp with your art, it's like I feel like I am in a gritty yet semi-gothic like feel to the body. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
It has you really feel transported, like I'm in a Grindhouse film. I was like, oh, what's going to come around the corner and get me? Who's going to come up behind me and get me? You know, it just, you really create a nice atmosphere where it's like gothic, but also very ghetto and just like, you really add a lot of grit to the art. And I love it. I love it.
Oh, thanks, man. I think it's just, you know, Brian and Mike, they kind of sent me down this path. I was holding their hand, and then they just let my hand go and took off running the other way and left me there. But it's great because that's what we needed, the kind of look and thing. And with each chapter, I just keep further immersing myself in the stories, the look of the story in that direction, and having that rapport with Mike and Brian. And man, Mike and I, we've already been doing a lot of research for a coming up La Muerta chapter that will be exploring more of those things and more of things about the barrio and the Mexican culture and the heritage, and like also Maria. There's a lot of stuff that we really haven't touched on with her, and that we're finding there's a lot of cool stuff to explore about the character's history, her past, you know, and even her heritage. That's all stuff for another time, you know. But I think that getting a sense of the tone and the look of the story was important. And I watch way too many movies and stuff, and so I try to immerse myself in that stuff and screen grab things that I think are really moody and atmospheric to, you know, bring into that story and look, because I try to make La Muerta look as cinematic as possible, or like a movie, or like a streaming show, just kind of dark and gritty. And so it really helps. And I think that really looking up and researching the architecture and just the look of those places is important to, you know, kind of transport the reader into that story. Because I mean, in those 64 pages, it's like, here I am doing the best I can to make sure you turn the pages as slowly as possible and just marinate in this story that we've created for you, you know. And so to me, it's important to get all the details of the background and the look of the characters and just the moodiness. Just, it should be dripping off the book, this sense of like, this is some kind of crime noir, you know. And it just helps with, you know, getting what Brian and Mike are, the story they're getting across, to relay that visually, and just take people on a ride, have them enjoy themselves, lose themselves in the book. You know, like I said, the longer they can keep the book open, flipping through those pages, the more happy I am that I got the job done, because it's entertainment. We want you guys to have a kick-ass time reading these stories and feel like you got a fun ride. You know, it's a good 20-30 minutes of reading these things and being like, man, that was worth it, you know. And so we enjoy it.
It shows on the page, and when I read it, I am transported into that area, and I'm like, wow, I'm here, I'm engrossed, and I'm looking around the corners to see if someone doesn't come up behind me and jack me.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty cool. Would you like to take questions from the viewers?
Say that again. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Questions from the viewers.
Yeah. Let's do it
today.
You know what we could do before we wrap up too? Maybe I can show people a sneak peek of one of our Infinityverse mystery envelope covers. Don't tell Brian.
Thank God he just left the room. Do it.
Now I'm never going to be invited to Sworn Fist if I show this.
I'll sneak you in the back. You can hang out.
I know, right? I'll be in the parking lot. Hey guys.
Hey, gang. You want to buy some sketches?
Yeah.
Pull them out of your second pocket. All right, who questions out there? Who do you got? Come on, people. You got Joe Gomez here.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Let's see. With having angel winds facing down the Grim Reapers. Man, that sounds cool to me, man. I'm down with that. Let's do it.
All right.
Let's see what El Jefe says.
What else do we got on here? What kind of questions we got?
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, it's great.
She's my
book.
favorite too. My favorite.
Mine too. That's my favorite book we publish.
That's awesome, dude.
Oh yeah, I try to pimp it to everyone.
Hey, Jelger, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, look at all the love you're getting in this room, man. These people are great. They really are.
Hey, there's Ken.
Hey, what's up, Ken?
Yeah, Ken Hamada. He's a friend of ours. We used to see all the local shows before COVID and all that malarkey. But yeah, Ken's great. It's good to see you, Ken. Ken says hi, Beth.
Oh, hi.
Hey, there's Jay Taylor. Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Ken.
How you doing, man? Thank you for
Jay
joining.
Taylor. I was just sharing some New Mutant stuff with Jay earlier today because I told him that Beth and I used to do illustration work for Fox marketing for their feature films. And at one point, we were working on the New Mutant stuff. And then Fox just disappeared.
Yeah, Disney got him.
I know, right?
I'm getting consumed.
Love the keyboard. Oh yeah, you do. Everybody's loving this keyboard. It's my wife's. My wife Beth is a colorist of Lady Mechanica, but I'm using her workstation because she's a real gearhead when it comes to tech, and so she always has cool tech, and I'm using her space to do this.
Now, excuse me. I noticed that you mentioned something. Oh, what's this say?
Is that a statue? That's right. Hey, What's up, Philippines? Hope you guys are doing great over there. Yeah, no, this is La Muerta. I got it way back, I think, chapter 1, chapter 2. Brian and Francisco were nice enough to send me this really awesome action figure of La Muerta, and my dumb nerd ass one year took it to Phoenix Comic-Con just to have Brian and Francisca and Mike sign it. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, this is for me. So they signed the box for me and I brought it home.
I wish I had one of that. Is a gorgeous figure.
It's awesome, dude. It's so cool looking. I still use it for reference.
It's well worth it. I'd love to see Mama Z with her own short story. Is there any plans to do that maybe in the future?
You know what? Honestly, I do think that one of the talented guys that Brian's, there's so many amazing artists Brian works with in Coffin. I'm getting the impression this person is doing a short story, maybe even a Mama Z origins. This is all, I don't really know for sure, but I saw on the Sworn message board or whatever on Facebook, somebody mentioned, hey, there should be a Mama Z, and oh my gosh, the guy's name is eluding me. Long red hair, glasses. He does covers for us.
Oh God, I looked down. I had a brain fart.
Watch, as soon as this thing is over, I'm gonna be like, but anyway, one of the amazing talented people whose work I really admire. His name is eluding me at the moment, but he is possibly working on some sort of secret project, maybe Mama Z. He mentioned it on the message board, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure they're working on it.
Are you ready for the action figure, La Muerta action figure?
I am. I think that'll be cool, man. I'll be happy to see it. You know, anything like that is so much fun, right? Just to have it in your hand and like, I'm gonna get you, stuff. Yeah, that's always neat. I love those things. Those things are awesome, man. Those are really cool. Like I said, I was really stoked to just get to La Muerta, the big one. So
that big one's gorgeous, man. I've had a friend of mine already. When he found out I was starting to work here, he was just like, dude, if you have one, I'll give you $300 cash.
That's awesome, man.
I keep it.
Yeah, they put so much work into those things. They're so beautiful, And then she has like different guns, and the guns, the little things slide back and everything. It's crazy. Man.
It's crazy.
Yeah, action figures now are insane. They're insane.
Let's see what do we got here. Love the Dan Mendoza.
Love the Dan Mendoza. Dan's great. Dan's art is awesome. Yeah, he's good stuff.
It's amazing how much humor he can get from such dark resources. He just just makes
I
it
know, right?
fun.
Yeah, he really does.
That always blew me away about his stuff when I first saw it coming into the stores. I'm like, what is this guy? And I don't know if I should laugh or be like, what the heck? And I laugh at the cover. I was like, this guy's got a great sense of humor. And then next thing you know, 2 years later, it's like, boom, Dan Mendoza. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
crazy how
I think it's neat. Well, I think it's what it is. Sometimes somebody's style can really touch that weird spot in someone's head where they're like, oh, this is like scary and cute, or you know what I mean? It's a combo that it's hard to ignore. And I think Dan found this little niche with his work that's just kind of, you know, it kind of just rides the razor's edge of that, where it's cutesy but kind of edgy. It's cool, man. It's really hard to do. Can we see your shirt?
Sure.
Of course, horse.
Yeah, I want one of those shirts too.
Dude, this shirt was like, we did it as a cover. Oh, look, you see better. We did it as a cover, and people have been wanting this as a shirt. And I've been trying to see if Brian might reprint it again. You know, it'd be cool, man.
I'd love that.
Yeah, who knows? We'll see. We'll have to ask El Jefe, see if he's interested. But it was I printed these up as a thank you at the end of one of our Kickstarters. I think it was a third one or fourth one, and I was just like, shit, man, I can't believe this. This is amazing. And I was just feeling grateful to the team. And so I had one printed up for Brian, Mike, Jimmy. I don't know. Like I printed up like 8 or 10 and sent them to Coffin. And then I had 2 for myself. And I just, at the time I would wear them to shows or whatever, you know, and, but every time somebody sees me with one or I post the image on Facebook or whatever, everyone's like, did you make this a shirt? And I'm like, yeah.
All right, what's some of your final thoughts and what's this? Okay, Brian's not in the room.
Is he gone?
This little thing. Do it.
You guys want to see a? I'll switch the camera in a second, but you guys want to see a very top secret Infinity Verse mystery envelope cover? I'm doing 6 for this upcoming La Muerta Kickstarter. And so this one they all have like themes, right? Different like ways of seeing the same character. So like in the last one, we had like a Victorian style La Muerta, or we had like a medieval La Muerta and shit, like a dagger or whatever. So this one, continuing on that same theme, we had this, I was imagining, well, what if La Muerta went to the far, far east, you know? And so I came up with the idea of let's see, Ronin La Muerta. So let's see.
That's sweet.
Trying to get the glare off of it. But yeah, you could see this is, I didn't see. Just like a samurai style version of La Muerta on toned paper, just to make it something different and eye catchy. You know what I mean? See if something people would really kind of enjoy as a kind of a different vibe to it. So anyway, I have 5 more I'm doing. And one of them will be the next one I'm doing like a luchador, kind of La Muerta. I'm doing like a cosmic. So that's going to be very Kirby inspired stuff. And the point of these is to make them look different from like a traditional cover. And so I'm always using colored paper, and it's all analog. So it's all with brush pens, gouache, markers, whatever. But it just gives it a distinct quality that makes it specifically like a Joel Gomez piece, I guess. And so I'm continuing on with it, but I'm trying to put a little more work and detail into this next batch of 6 covers, just because I want them to be kick-ass for you guys. I want you guys to really dig them. But at least you got a sneak peek of the quality and what we're going for. The other 5 will be under wraps until they launch the Kickstarter. So hopefully you guys get a chance to check those out during that. And I'm really excited for you guys to check out this new chapter of La Muerta. It's going to be really exciting. Oops, sorry, let me switch the camera here. I'm really excited for you guys to check out the latest chapter of La Muerta coming up, La Muerta Onslaught. Man, we threw everything in this. There's so many characters. It's everything in the kitchen sink. It's a huge, obviously, crossover event. I'm really excited at the work that Cece and I and Mike and Brian have produced for this particular chapter. And a big shout out to Marshall Dillon, who's been on board kind of coordinating and editing everything in this this book from page, I'd say 24, 25, the halfway point on. It's been a real treat having him on board. I didn't know what it would be like to have like an editor so directly on board like that. It's been a while since I've had that, and it's been great. He's been awesome to work with. He makes things so much easier, and it just keeps the trains running, you know. And so I'm really excited about the team that we have. And so, like I said before, we're constantly swinging for the fences for you guys. We really want you guys to enjoy the things we're producing in this new chapter, and so many cool things coming up too after that. Oh man, it's like a freight train, and you just got to hang on, man. It's got some crazy things Brian's got coming up, so I'm excited.
Well, I want to say thank you very much for joining us here today, and I'll be joining you and Mike tomorrow at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Right.
And
Yeah.
talking about La Muerta Onslaught Chapter 7.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to share some other stuff from the book. We'll have to see. Maybe we won't tell anybody. We won't tell Brian. We'll share some different pages.
Right next to me.
Oh, no.
It's been a pleasure, man. Oh,
Thanks
great.
again, guys. Oh, there he is. There's El Jefe. We didn't say nothing.
No. $1,000. I'll tell you everything you told me.
Cool, no
All
problem.
right. Thank you for
Thanks
joining.
again, everybody. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Thanks for supporting us. We really appreciate it, you guys.
Asta.